The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
We're ready for football. Brian jump shot, puts it in. Here he is cooking in the short season. The Giants win 12-7 from their first season in the NHL.
All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator. I'm Farhan, a.k.a. WDC. I want to thank you for tuning in to Sports Collective TV every Monday right here at 5 o'clock on MorrisMediaLive.com. If you got to step away or you're on YouTube, you're a YouTube fan, you can go to youtube.com/Morris Media Studios and watch us on YouTube as well. Make sure you follow us on the social media platforms. As Cali Sportsman says, Google it. Sports Collective TV or Sports Collective Media, and we got that platform, Sports Collective Radio.
Google your preference.
Yeah, Google your preference. So today, as always, you know, we got the deck always loaded. Very important, spectacular show for you, from professional to, you know, guys chasing the hoop dream to student athletes. So I gave you who I am. We're going to go around the deck real quick and do the roundup and get this party started.
That is right. I mean, Cali Sportsman's already got the party started in here before anything else. But
party stay started.
Yep. But my name is Fredo Cervantes, of course. I'm always going to give you guys the truth and nothing but the truth. And I got a lot of truth to tell you guys all today for everything that happened over the weekend. But I'll go ahead and pass it to my guy, Robert Lamar. That's not the way. I forgot.
You know who it is. You know who it is. It's your boy Robert Lamar in the building, baby.
Chocolate Thunder.
Hey, busy weekend. City championships with baseball. We call it the West Valley City Championship because West Valley teams are the ones who dominated. Outside of San Fernando.
Okay.
They get it every now and then, but overall West Valley runs it. And I got 3 sport athletes up in here, stars. And we're going to have a lit show, man. We have a 3-star athlete, but before that, we have an NBA superstar.
Definitely.
That was, when she was in high school, 4 straight state titles.
4 straight?
Yeah.
4?
So she knows what it is to, get down back then. So we're going to touch on that later.
Okay, cool. And last but not least,
I had to go check the ankle.
the one and no least.
That's a lot of chips.
That's a lot of chips, right?
I ain't talking about bags of potato chips. You might get some rings come with that, you know?
Yeah, you might.
Well, you know who I am. I'm the excitement of this whole entire entourage here, you know.
Wow, really?
So humble.
Yeah, I mean, you the one look like the nerd today. That's pretty cool.
Hey, I can't see no more.
Glasses.
And you know what he said? I was wondering, like, he rode the train, right, from his house, right? So he must have been doing some reading while he was coming here because he brought the eyewear.
For real?
They Ray-Bans too, huh?
For real? Yeah, they Ray-Bans.
You know, I ain't nothing but I'm a name brand whore. So,
you be putting me on game because there's nothing name brand on me.
Seriously.
But I'm Cali Sportsman. I'm here to talk the ish out of y'all.
Yes.
And give y'all the real. You know what I'm saying? And Alert, I definitely can't wait to be on his segment.
Man, man.
I cannot wait to be on his segment. But not off the same token, we got some really great guests. I mean, if you want to call in, 323-293-3375. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into
I got a couple announcements to make first, just to make sure I don't miss nothing. Again, we got a segment coming up. We got Brian Fisher from the LABC. So again, Sports Collective Radio, where we do the play-by-play basketball for the LABC League. So we have one of the players here going to be on the segment for the LABC, which fits your conversation. We talked about chasing the hoop dreams, and when he told me what he was up to in life, I was like, "Oh man, you fit
So
this,
I mean, when I was seeing what was being presented today, I counted. Yeah. So this would be our 13th guest that's been chasing a hoop dream. Wow. And if you know the LABC League, all of them chasing hoop dreams. But we really only interview the MVP. So we bring the upper echelon to the table to be able to talk about their scenarios. And that's the great piece. Like, I just want to let y'all know I had an opportunity to talk to Richard Carr this weekend.
Oh, kidding!
Of Sports Lounge Live. He misses us. Of
really?
Course.
Wonderful.
You think? He unfriended me on Facebook.
Hello, Richard.
But I'm not a Facebook guy.
You got unfriended?
I'm not offended.
Okay, let's leave that out. You're getting messy right now. Go ahead, man. I want to hear his message.
I'm not offended though.
He's just
put your laundry out there.
He had positive things to say. He had to go through his transition, but
we appreciate that. We still love you, Rich.
From Sports Lounge Live, that's where it all started from in regards to Hoop Dreams, and started with my son. I think at first talking about his little travels through AAU and
my daughter at Hamilton.
Doing
her thing.
But it's been some phenomenal stories. I think we got Ryan Burnett, who's playing in Germany. We had Cam, who had the son who had the tumor.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've had these really, really great stories. So you can go back into the archives and kind of see what these stories is all about. But they're unique. There's nothing like it. I mean, you talk about documentary.
Real deal.
These guys got some real great stories.
And lastly, I just want to announce that there is a OVN Classic June 19th at Staples Centers, and that's the old school versus new school basketball tournament. And Al Alert and Oscar X and O's will talk about that more because our WNBA guest is going to be supporting that as well. So we just want to let you know that that's June 19th at Staples Center, the OVN Classic, old school versus new school basketball for youth. So we're going to talk about that on that segment as well. So
you left one thing behind.
What did I leave out?
We're extending for 30 minutes today.
We 90 minutes. We 90 minutes because we needed some more time.
Somebody came with their little extra money today. Huh? We got an extra 30 minutes.
Had to go to the ATM.
Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Special broadcast.
Yeah, special broadcast.
So I know you're going to talk about this series, right? Is that what you're going to bring up?
Well, I mean, we should.
I hope not.
What series?
Great question. But
because you know what? It's finally turned into Golden State Warriors versus LeBron, because it's never been really Golden State Warriors versus Cleveland Cavaliers. So now, since they're 2-0, now it's Golden State Warriors against the Cleveland Cavaliers, because now there's no really more talk about it.
Seriously, but
they will get one win.
We should hold some of this off because I'm pretty sure we have a lot.
We got a few more. We got some time coming up.
Are we going to get into it right now?
No.
I'm not talking about this. What? I'm talking about the 2017 WNBA Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
it's time for that.
About you guys right now.
We need her up here.
We're going to take a 20-second timeout. 20-second timeout, and we're going to switch up the deck. So keep it right here. Sports Collective TV, Sports Collective Media. Google it all.
Google it.
MorrisMediaLive.com. Shout us out. What's the count? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold, man.
I hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasm, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn, are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man.
There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.
played at that level.
Welcome back
You know what I'm
to
saying?
Sports Collective
Exactly.
TV.
Thank you for saying that.
You are tuned here with my man from WDC on the left, Oscar No to the right of me, and a very special guest, reigning defensive player of the year of the WNBA, first woman ever to get her jersey retired at Duke, and the first woman ever to win the John Wooden Award, Elena Beard.
Whoa.
Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for joining the deck.
Wow.
I'm going to get right into it. You guys just came off a great win versus the Lynx. You guys have a lot going on this year. How do you think the team has improved most going into this season, or what has improved as a team?
I mean, I think the cool thing is that we have our core. And anytime you come back, I think we have like 6 of us that have been together for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And so coming back into a new season makes everything like extremely easy. You know each other, you know how to communicate with each other, and you build a bond, and you're basically sisters at this level. So I think the hardest part for us is just putting the new pieces in.
Right.
And then when that gets together, it's going to take a season. You know, people think that things supposed to come together at the very beginning. That's very
doesn't work like that. Yeah.
You've never played on this level, you'll never
Yeah.
understand it. So like when you like hear these critics like going in on the team because they're not doing well or performing well at the very beginning,
You have to understand that everything takes its time.
You give them a side eye.
To get in. But that's interesting.
So you've had a really great career in the WNBA. You've been a top scorer in the league. You've obviously proven a top defender. So what challenges are you setting personally this season?
None. I'm 36 years old. Like,
I'm having fun.
You know, at this point, you come in, you know what you're supposed to do, you know what you're capable of doing.
Okay.
You know, I'm on a team where I put my ego to the side, and that's the only way to win. I play with a special group of women.
Okay.
So it's like I understand that sometimes, most of the time, I'm the 5th option.
Okay.
And I'm completely okay with that because at the end of the day, we're still winning championships, and
That's what
I'm
matters.
still playing my role to the best of my ability. So
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I like to get into, like, you know, go back in time a little bit. So who is Elena Beard growing up? That's what I want to know.
Oh, man.
Yes.
From Louisiana.
Oh.
Yeah, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
Tomboy. Playing with my brother and his friends.
Yeah.
Always the first one picked in a pickup game.
There we go.
As a girl.
There you go.
So, I mean, I enjoy just being with my family. I'm still the same. You know, obviously, you stick to your core. You know, my parents are very dear to me.
Mm-hmm.
They raised me. They built the foundation. And they give me the support that I need. And I don't know. I'm just me. There's nothing complicated about me.
So who do you attribute that mental toughness? I heard mom and dad. So who do you attribute that mental toughness to?
I mean, definitely my mom and dad. Yeah. My mom was the only girl of 9 boys.
Oh, wow.
So, you know how that
Oh,
that
yeah,
goes.
I can imagine.
And then within our household, you have my father who's like an extreme workaholic. You know, and he sort of taught us that work ethic. But my mom wore the pants, without doubt, and still does. So.
And before I turn it over, you know, obviously you played basketball at a young age. You know, some teenagers get to high school or college level and they don't play anymore. Like, what kept you, that drive for you in basketball?
To be the best. You know, I was very fortunate. I think Robert mentioned it without mentioning a W in NBA. So I'll give him his credit there. But I was very fortunate to play for a really good high school coach. And we won 4 state championships. And he sort of taught me to respect the game. And from that point on, I loved it, I respected it, and I knew what I wanted. Sometimes you don't get what you set out to get.
Exactly.
The way that you want it, but eventually it comes if you continue to work and persist.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I know you got a lot going on the court as off the court. Can you talk about some of your post-career goals as a person?
You know, I think I'm just as ambitious as an individual off the court as I am on the court. I think, and you know, I don't want to have it as an insult by any means, but I think a lot of people settle for just sticking to their comfort zone.
Right.
As an athlete, you know,
absolutely.
You think that you have to go into coaching because that's the only thing that you can do.
Right.
But that's not true.
But that's not the case. I've always wanted to go into business, and I've always said I wanted to set my own schedule, and I would never work for anyone.
There you go.
So right now I'm into franchising, and that's just the start of sort of building something bigger. You know, I think I need to gain that business acumen, and franchising is more relatable to me. They give you a map to follow, a plan to follow. If you follow it, you determine how successful you are, and hopefully I can continue to build that portfolio.
Wow.
And grow into something bigger.
Excellent. And speaking about franchising, you're working with the Mellow Mushroom Group. Yeah. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
It's what I started with. I keep saying fortunate, and I use the word fortunate because I am, because I've had so many good people come through my life. But a mentor of mine sort of pushed us towards this Mellow Mushroom. He studied the business model, and he understood that it was the best one for us. And I jumped right on it. He has over 30 years of experience in the franchising business, so you have to listen to people when they speak to you in that sense. So.
Oh, excellent!
And we're hearing what actually is
Mellow Mushroom.
Yeah,
it's a pizza spot. It's like
pizza.
everything is. Yeah, it's,
that's a cool name. So
it's
Mellow
like
Mushroom.
custom pizza. It's a restaurant. It's a bar. It's bar food. Everything that I don't eat, and but it's a pretty successful business model.
I'm sure that they're going to ask about the philanthropy work as an advocate for sickle cell trait. Are you familiar with that in here at TGN?
I am. My uncle passed away from it.
Okay.
So I remember maybe in 2008 I did an initiative with sickle cell anemia.
Oh, wow.
Because of that.
Okay.
But right now my focus is on swim safety.
Okay.
In Louisiana. It's known that over 70% of African Americans don't know how to swim.
Wow.
And I'm one of those.
Hey, I'm number two.
Yeah. So it's like, it was never like stressed in my household. My parents don't know how to swim. I didn't know how to swim until maybe 2 years ago when I started this initiative. I decided to learn with the kids.
Wow.
So every year I'm trying to make it an annual thing. So it's been going on for the past 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so you're going to the schools and teaching them how to swim?
No. We bring them into the YMCA.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
And so we learn with the instructors there.
So you're bringing them into the space where they gain that knowledge.
We have everything that they need, have all of the resources.
Perfect.
Making it as easy as possible.
Lifeguards.
Oh, excellent.
And like you said, a lot of time it's not like these people don't want to learn. It's just they don't have access to the resources, right?
Absolutely.
Which is the same thing here in Los Angeles with a lot of stuff that our youth are going through. And we'll touch more a little bit on that in a sec.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with you. When you know better, you do better.
Yeah. Exactly. And you have to have the spaces, the people, the resources around you in order to make those better choices.
Absolutely.
Going back to the basketball real quick before we move on to the rest. You've gone through a lot in your career, a lot of changes, a lot of great stuff happening there. What would you say is your most valued moment or experience in your playing career?
I would probably say in 2012 when I got injured and I was told by the doctor that I would never play again.
Wow.
How did you receive that at the time?
I received it like a badass, pretty much. It's funny because like he's the expert. Like, you will probably never play again, and I'm sitting on the table like, okay,
like right.
All right. And it's crazy because like I went through a period. That was my first time understanding that basketball is a business, and that's why I'm gonna get on this LeBron subject.
Yeah,
he left Cleveland. I was like, okay, cool. Because he's the first athlete to do to an organization what organizations do to athletes all the time.
Yes.
They can't do anything for you anymore. They're done.
Ooh.
So maybe the way that he presented it wasn't the best way.
Right.
But his image, his brand, that's his business.
Yeah.
And he's one of the first athletes to make that his business. And so that was my defining moment, just understanding that basketball is a business. So.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I wanted to also bring up, you had touched it on the opening segment, that we're actually be having this basketball tournament. So my thing is sports has always connected me with people, whether I was at home, whether I was in college. And so one of the big problems that we were having in the state of California is they just passed Prop 57, which is that they're releasing a lot of inmates that don't have violent crimes, and they're going back into the communities. And so I've worked with the whole reentry thing for a couple years now, and I know that it's never easy for anyone to transition back into a space, especially if you don't have people, resources, and spaces to provide this.
Right.
So through this basketball tournament, we're actually trying to bring awareness that our communities are definitely in danger, especially here in LA. With everything that's going on with gentrification and stuff like that, is making it a lot harder for our youth and our reentry population to find these resources. Like, for instance, I used to teach at a school, Youth Justice Coalition, and I brought up before how our school is actually being taken over by the city through eminent domain. They pretty much left us no choice, and so that's one of the reasons we're doing this tournament, to let people know that not only is our people being moved from out of the city, but also our spaces are being taken away. So going back to what you said, it's not like this population doesn't want to get better. It's about being there and providing these resources, the people, and the spaces. So I want to talk more about how you got involved. I know Alex brought it up.
Alex presented it to me. We were actually having dinner for his birthday dinner.
Yeah. That was good.
So I don't talk about it a lot, and I doubt that you know it, but when I read over it, I kind of became connected with it because my brother is exactly that transitioning person.
Okay.
You know, for nonviolent incidents.
Okay. Wow.
And I was with him with his transition back, you know, into society. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It's going to be hard. I mean, we have the same parents.
Right.
We grew up the same way.
Yeah. Right.
We were taught the same things. But his transition back into society was extremely hard because no one wanted to give him a chance.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so I really connected with what you guys are putting together. And I think anytime that you can provide resources and education, that's the best way to go. But I would encourage you to stick with it because a lot of people start it and they never finish it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And definitely check out that home game versus Fever on June 19th. We will all be there for sure for that.
Yes, actually, we're actually bringing out 300 community members out to the event. You know, once again, it's just providing opportunities for people that might normally... Probably there's people out there who haven't even been to LA Live. You know, so being able to provide that opportunity for them is something that we're always looking to do.
Yeah, how are you guys getting them there? What's the transportation like?
Right now, we're looking to probably get like a bus or something.
Good.
Yeah,
that was my question when I was reading over it.
Yeah,
like I love what you're doing. I love that you're getting these kids out there or these individuals out, but how's the transportation? Because I think once they come out, it could be extremely inspirational.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Because you're seeing all these changes that are happening in LA, but a lot of us aren't benefiting from it. Mm-hmm. We see all this construction going on, but like I said, I know youth that haven't been to Staples Center and they've lived here their whole life. You know, it's kind of shocking to be like, wow, really? It's a metro bus, but at the same time, you got to get into the stadium, and like you said, you have to be able to enjoy it. And if you don't have the resources to do it, you know, it could be frustrating.
You got kids from the inner city that never been to the beach,
right? Yeah. Exactly,
like, literally.
And these are things that like
probably
living
never
in LA.
Been to Staples,
definitely,
absolutely. So I know you got a very busy schedule. We'll let you off in a second. There's one thing I read about though online that I wanted you to kind of talk about, if that's right. You had a really interesting experience with Barack Obama and his daughter. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Gosh, you're digging deep.
America.
Yeah. One of my good friends, Reggie Love, was basically Obama's body man. So everywhere Obama went, Reggie Love was there. We went to Duke together. We actually dated. And he just connected me. The girls got into playing basketball. I went in wherever they took me in the motorcade. I feel like I was blindfolded, but I wasn't. And I just put on a camp for his daughter's AAU team. And that's it.
Whoa, nice.
We had fun, played against him one-on-one a little bit. Beat him in horse.
So you beat the president in horse?
Sure did.
There you go.
No way he was winning.
We probably got like one more second left. I just want to ask you, like, being the defensive player, like, what does that take from inside?
A lot. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. Like, people think like defense is hard. It's sort of like self-motivating. It's effort, it's passion. And you have to study your opponents. But I mean, to win it at the age of 35, that was super cool. I don't get caught up in all these awards, but that was a pretty big
good one
to me.
Yeah, good one.
Because it's kind of like I played my role to the best of my ability,
right? And recognized.
Kind of got recognized for it after being in the league for 14 years.
Anything you want to say that we didn't touch on? You know.
No, Alex dug deep.
Did his research.
Yeah. I didn't expect anything less from this guy. So
cool deal.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much for stopping by, Elena.
No
we got much more happening on Sports Collective TV. If you want to tune in, 323-293-3375. Stay tuned.
Very cool.
Giving up. Chapter 1. Winners never quit.
Hey, I'm Sergeant First Class Ferran Dozier. I'm here at the military base, and I have the sickle cell trait. Now, why I got involved is I experienced what they call sickle cell trait exertion. And I was doing the Army physical fitness test, the 2-mile run, and when I got done, I collapsed. A lot of soldiers and athletes have been dying at football fields and running track, and the family members have no idea that they have the sickle cell trait gene or that it's a trigger. So my purpose is to mobilize the community so we can find out what's in your genes. How will life be if we could prevent another child from being born with sickle cell trait or disease? And if a child was born with the trait or disease, that the family members would have the education, awareness, and resources in every city that they lived in. So tune into our webinar series and find out what's the count.
What's the count? What's the count? What's the count?
Skateboards or something over there?
Welcome back to Sports Collective TV. If you're just tuning in, you've got to catch us right here Mondays at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Pacific. I did like you. I'm teasing him.
It's called the ocean.
I'm teasing him.
He's a little nervous today, isn't he?
He is.
Whatever.
Check his fingers if it's sweaty,
starched.
sweaty.
Anyways, so again, we're up. This segment here again is brought to you by the LABC Basketball League. Fredo created an idea to do play-by-play. I was already going to connect with them to do interviews, but Fredo brought in doing play-by-play because he's done it before in a college level, and I'm like, all right, dude. So we went out and actually broadcast live their basketball games at their rec centers and at the schools from Santa Clarita to North Hollywood and now to the downtown South Division. And so we usually bring in, player of the week or player of the game to do an interview. But I reached out to Americas because I wanted to get into just, the whole atmosphere of the teams and stuff. So Bryant accepted my invitation to come on the show. So he's going to be here sharing who he is and what he's up to as far as playing in the LABC League, but also the segment that you created, Chasing That Hoop Dream. I mean, like I said, was a perfect match for this conversation. So,
and I just want to say one thing real quick. Lewis Darby, if you are watching, fam pal, Eastside Pacoima, get your butt down here.
Yeah.
I want you down here on the show. Just saying.
Exactly. Introduce yourself, Brian, please.
Well, I'm Brian Fisher, playing in the LABC League. Been playing up in there for like a good 7 years.
7 years?
Good 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played with my cousins. We actually got like 2 championships out of the whole 7.
Boom.
It's good. The competition got a lot better though. It got a whole lot better.
Yeah. So give us some background. Like, who's Brian growing up, man?
Growing up, born and raised in Compton, California. Not just saying it. Just raised with my brother, and my dad raised me and my brother after my mom passed. So
okay.
Had a lot of anger coming up.
Yeah.
Just because of that, but with basketball, I was able to get it channeled the right way. So as I got older, I went to Willowbrook Middle School, then I went to Centennial High. I played Centennial, and then after the riot in 2000, I went to Washington High School and played. So
I don't want to brush over that, losing your mom. I can't even imagine that right now. But how did you take that energy and convert that over to that positive basketball?
Really, just my granny coming down, rest her soul. She came down like for the past 18 years, 19 years, just to kind of give us what we didn't have, in the home, and just teaching us and letting us know about God Himself. So that kind of helped more than enough.
Yeah.
So just from there, just like I had to kind of just take it and drive it somewhere. I had to take it and put it somewhere. So
you found basketball?
Found basketball.
Any other sport did you play?
I played all other sports, but I think I fell in love with basketball more than anything, and I kind of wanted to pursue it more. So
was it because you were better in basketball, or because you sucked at the other ones, or what?
No, actually, I was good at all the other sports because my pops actually almost he got a chance to play Major League for a while. Yeah, so I mean, the gift kind of ran through the family.
Yeah.
But I just stuck with basketball only because talking to some of the mentors growing up, they just let me know that when you put the most time in.
Yeah.
I mean, even though everybody play football, baseball, and things like that, but it's like if I stuck to that craft while they practicing baseball, I'll just have a little bit more of an edge than them. So
it's funny that you say that. I mean, to coach kids in basketball who have and really started. I was having this conversation with someone in the mall. Kids are now playing soccer as one of their first sports, and in our era, baseball was kind of like the first sport that kind of taught you all the fundamentals of any other sport, But then I want to resonate with what you're saying about basketball because basketball, like football, is a stop and play. But basketball is one of them type of sports where your muscle memory play a big thing, and you can play all week and be off for 2 days, and then your whole giddy up would be like really off. Yeah. So I think that's what resonates with you, is that you can consistently get better and better and better as long as you continue to practice and put it in. I mean, when you could go back in the Bird days when they used to go back in the gym and before a game, and they'd be 2 hours before a game started and just shoot 500 shots, right? Just to warm up. You know what I'm saying? So. You know, I'm just mirroring that because, you know, that's what basketball really does. You know, not only the infrastructure of basketball teaching you all the disciplinary pieces, but it gives you that drive to continue to move forward. Because once you're hitting a baseball and it's out the park, once you're gloving, once you're running through the hole, you know, basketball is such an individual sport in regards to your personal mentality, you know, because you are really always almost somewhat competing with someone, a whole team by yourself at times. So
if not yourself, like most of the time when I practice, because I spent nights every night. Like, you know, it hasn't been a night where I haven't been at the park putting in that work. And most of the time, if I wasn't, you know, wrapped in prayer while I was doing it, you know, I was pretty much like playing my shadow. Yeah. So like, you know, it kind of, I mean, it's just a love for it. You know, everybody nowadays, they want to play in the gyms, which is cool. But when you go back to originality on where this game started, it started on the streets. You know, that's why I just feel like... And
it's two different types of play.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? See, it always said, if you could go to the park and get picked up, first game get picked up and win, you might have a shot. But if not, you're going to sit at the park till the sun go down.
Exactly. Waiting your turn. Who got next?
So, but that's what I'm saying is that competitive edge. Side. So when you see that and you look at like pro ballers now, it's like, what happened to that? They miss a lot of that. Like, you know, you could go back and we could briefly talk about it, but just looking at all the basketball one-on-one scenarios when J.R. Smith took that rebound, right? Yeah. Not go back up.
Yeah, none of the fundamentals.
Why is he dribbling out? Why is he passing?
No fundamentals.
Why is he not calling timeout? I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it's like
J.R. to God.
You go back to the fundamentals of playing outside. Yes. You know, under any kind of weather conditions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find your shot in the wind. Don't let it be changed.
Change versus net.
Change versus net.
Yeah, double rim with the little
backboard if it's the boom boom backboard, or if it's the boom backboard. You know, all those play the elements.
Man, hey, but you know what? He not lying. Yeah. Because most of the time, like some of the days that I spent, it was either with a flat ball. Yeah. Or it was like sometimes like after it got through raining. Yeah. Like nothing can keep me off of the court. So it's like it gave me the edge. Like, and a lot of people don't know, you know, with Kyrie Irving. Like if you know his background, he played with, you know, one backboard. It was one of them that was shattered on the side. Yeah. That's why you could tell from his layup package, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so he like...
What was the drive, you know, growing up towards basketball? What was that dream? What did you want to accomplish?
Man, I wanted to accomplish so much.
You wanted to dunk.
I was dunking.
There we go. That's all. I had to get it out there.
It's just, I picked up a lot of things because I had a lot of good mentors, you know. So dunking was really that... It's really just...
You had leapers anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I had them, you know what I'm saying? Because I could, you know, most of the time I played at 3 position, 2 position, you know, so because I can jump and I was always fast. So, you know, but the edge came from just, you know, really just what I didn't have in my home, you know. So I mean, I didn't have, you know, I grew up off of respect. You know, mothers teach you love, fathers teach you respect. So I grew up off the respect, which is love, you know. So, but it's just like when I went looking for something. So when I found it, I found the fact that I actually loved it. So I just had to, you know, kind of learn, you know, just everything about what it meant. So my mentors and, you know, my coaches, they broke it down to me. Because literally I used to just fight a lot.
Yeah. You know? So you 6 what?
I'm like 6'2", 6'3" now.
All right. So now you a specialty in what?
Well, defense. I'm pretty much like more like...
Stop. Defense is vague. Let's break it down. Okay. You know, are you in the passing lane defense? Nah, are you locking him up defense?
I'm locking down.
Okay, that's what I just
as in full court pickup.
That's what you talk to.
It's a team sport. It's a team sport, but you know, 1-on-1 I want the best guy.
Have you ever got the boxing 1 assignment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Trust me, I got that plenty of time.
Boxing 1 assignment means for all you novices out there that if there is a superstar on the court and he needs to be shut down, you follow him everywhere he goes.
Everywhere.
I've had that assignment. I know what it is.
Deny him the ball.
Everywhere.
Deny.
Yeah, that's full court.
Did you have dreams of going to college?
Yeah, actually, when I tried to go back to Centennial back in 2005, I was trying to go back and play with
Aaron Fallow.
Yeah, I was trying to go back and play with Fallow because one of my middle school coaches was telling me, he was like, "Hey, man, Fish, where you playing at now?" So, after the conversation, I was like, well, I wouldn't mind going back. I would love to go back. So he was telling me about him. I said, well, I heard about him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to get a practice or nothing like that, but they already had me on the roster. So I couldn't go back and play, and I kind of
once you get listed.
So I was so mad about that. I was so mad about that because people underestimated me. You always hear Compton.
Yeah.
But my thing is like when I got to LA, it ain't nobody like that. It ain't nobody from where I'm from because I just felt like I'm not gonna say everybody's soft, but it's just the mental. Because how tough I am on myself,
Mm-hmm.
I expect that out of the players. So when I couldn't find that there, I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And from there,
and that's interesting because normally you embrace the superstar part of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you got LeBron. You just kind of carry the weight. But you at the point where you humble.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You sound like you're a humble player. I want to be the best. I want to guard the best, but I also want to play around the best too.
Yeah. Well,
But you went to Centennial on a tough time as well.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of stuff going on in Centennial. A whole lot that people probably forgot. And we probably won't even touch on. But it was a tough time.
It really was. I mean, just because of how good basketball has been to me, like I was able to pretty much walk those streets and go to the school, and it was crazy because I stayed in the neighborhood I stayed in, and I'm trying to make it real quick, but just the neighborhood I stayed in along, I was in pretty much Crip territory.
Yeah.
And I went to a blood school.
Yeah, you went to Bentennial.
Yeah. So what I'm pretty much used to is like I know basketball.
Right.
I don't know nothing about all this stuff. I don't know the neighborhood, this and that. So when they found out, it was like, oh, B, you stay where? And so but long story short, just out of respect that they have for me on the court,
they let it roll.
Like nobody bothered me because we was not only winning games, but we was blowing cats out, and I was like the second freshman to get a varsity tryout.
Oh wow!
Because Palmer don't play that, man. Palmer
that's not an easy spot to do that at.
Because Pruitt was there at the time, so
And that's before Pruitt left to Westchester or something like that?
Before he left. Because he was, as a ninth grader, dude, don't sleep on him.
Okay, it was real.
Yeah.
Don't sleep
Pruitt
on
and them, they asked from squad.
Yeah, he was there.
It was good coaching, too.
It was really good coaching. I think Palmer breaded a lot of things and a lot of the kids there, because he was.
I liked Palmer a lot. I met him in Vegas, and I was always because it always when you're a good coach and it resonates through the kids, there it is right there.
And he had our respect. Like throughout the school, like before you even think that you about to step up and go to any practice, like just his name alone would pretty much make you feel like, okay, you better make sure you come in with the right attitude. You better make sure you come in with your classwork done. Like your GPA has to be up. You can't just be out there ditching class all day. Like he said, it's a tough school. Like I'm going to class, there's cats up in there shooting dice in the hallway. So, that's how the school was.
So one more question though, before WDC gets. You went to school with Kendrick, right?
Well, no. A couple of my friends, I didn't go back.
Oh, that's right. You were gone when he was there.
So I didn't get a chance to go back. But a lot of my friends that graduated from there, they really good friends with him. They have really good relationships with him.
I always say that his Good Kid, Mad City is a story of every black LA kid that grew up.
Yes, man.
How much do you agree with that?
I agree with that. I agree with that 1,000%.
That is our story.
Yeah.
That's a cold perspective of LA.
But you know what? Even though y'all from LA and Compton, that resonates for Baltimore, Memphis, Oakland.
Yeah.
Pretty much a lot of every inner city scenario can also relate to that. It's like the true hip hop of what we dealt with.
Absolutely.
That it's kind of the BET that we see across America. That nobody has BET anymore.
Right.
But,
every city with their own dynamic neighborhood.
Yeah.
So the chasing the hoop dream, we talked about this offline. You had a kid.
Yeah, I had a kid.
So how did that?
Met a girl first.
Nah, I had a son.
Yeah, met the girl first. We gotta go with that part. Not just get to the kid.
That's what I was talking about. I met the girl first, and and this
that normally happens before the baby.
Yeah, but you know what? Not every situation is bad, but this is what I do teach. Some of my kids that's playing for Hooper That Foundation. Coach Jones out there coaching them, but a lot of the kids that we coach, we don't just give them basketball information. We got to give them life information because it's a lot of things out there that you can get grabbed and pulled. Mm-hmm. Once you get in that current, it's hard to get out of it. So but like I had a son early, and that's why I took a year off.
How old were you when you had your son?
Well, like what? 19.
Wow, that's so irresponsible.
19.
That's crazy.
But man, I had a job. Listen to me. I had a job.
I was 16. Just kidding.
By 19, he had 3.
Don't listen to that crap.
He said he don't lie.
He's lying.
Yeah, but after that, I kind of just put that on hold, because I wanted to get established. And after that, I went to Trey Tech. So when I checked in Trey Tech, had a really good practice, really good practice. Matter of fact, one of my teammates from Centennial was playing up there at the time. It was JoJo. So when I found out he was there, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. So made the team later in that year. Kind of had got stabbed going out, having some fun with some friends in Hollywood. We get into it, so it kind of put me out for another year. And the crazy thing about it is that whole year that I sat out, they won the championship. And a lot of my friends got scholarships to go to college.
That was their state year?
That was the 2007 was one, and 2008 was another one. So
yeah, they was racking those years.
Man, hey, we had a team up there, and I was like, to me, like to be on that team as like the front man defensively, nobody couldn't stop me. Like you not getting by me. I don't care how many. I don't care about none of that. I didn't play it against the best, and I just feel like it's more of a confidence thing.
Yeah.
And if you
you teaching kids about life lessons.
Yes.
And you got yourself into a situation to where you got bodily harm. What did you take away from that? Is it like one of them? I wouldn't do that again. Or if I would have did it different.
But you know what? It wasn't that. It was more a learning experience because, like I said, like what I knew more of was basketball than anything. I'd never been a street cat.
Right.
So when I started learning about street things, there was things that happened to me in my life that made me open my eyes up and see a whole nother side. Because I had a friend that was supposed to have been a friend, and if we all out together and something happened with you, if you don't come back and tell your buddies what's going on, then you're not a friend.
Yeah. Right. Because so you got caught in the rapture.
So we got caught, got caught in some stuff, and I didn't know what was going on. But at the time, growing up where I'm from, I'm already ready. I'm equipped. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like one of my best friends, he had went down, and so I had to make sure I protect him. And that's how it happened. So, and we'll probably touch bases on him, a little, if we get a chance to. But that's how it happened, and that's what made me more aware of who do I have around me. These people do they have love for me? You know what I'm saying? And one thing that my coach told me when I was younger, he said, don't ever respect a player for what he can do. You respect him for who he is.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. It was a woman coach too. Yeah. At the Boys and Girls Club. It stuck with me all those years. And once that night had happened, I felt like a lot of things started coming back. Everything started coming back. All my teachings started coming back. And I soaked that up, and that's when I put that, just.
So what are you chasing the dream now through the LABC league?
Yeah, I'm trying to chase it, man, because I feel like, I'm just, I'm healthy, blessed to be healthy. I don't have any major injuries or nothing like that, and my life is pretty good. Besides basketball, of us making it there to make that good money and also have a good dream doing it.
Yeah.
We teach kids about what it takes to be responsible with your money.
Yeah.
So it's not
financial literacy.
Financial, Yeah. So it's like I'm pretty much establishing myself in that department. I'm not worried about that right now.
Yeah.
But my dream is to still play ball.
You go play overseas in a minute,
man. I'm handling my business. I don't have any. I can handle. I've been handling my business. So if everything worked out, I can actually go.
Yeah.
Cool I can actually go. My babies are good. Still going to court for one, but still, if I had left when I had the opportunity, because the next following year after that incident in 2008, I went back to go try out for my for Trade Tech again. So when I got there, and I had a friend call me and tell me about overseas tryouts. So when I made the tryouts for overseas, I'm like, oh yeah, forget school, I'm about to go.
Yeah.
So it's just life lessons kick in, man, and it was hard for me.
It's a trip, man, because we make these decisions. I mean, it could be something that's like I'm going out with my buddies, not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But someone told me this today, and this resonated with me a lot. It's like your life is like a book, and you're just flipping through pages. What is it you got to the last page, and that was the day you was going to die, and that's tomorrow. So what have you done in that book that gives you the substance of who you really are?
Yeah.
And are you just wasting your life? Not knowing when the last day is going to be, or are you going to continue to write more chapters in this book? So a lot what you're doing with the Hoop Dreams, man, I'm a big fan of basketball culture. You know what I'm saying? Because I just see the tenacity when you want to be a really good player. It stands out over everyone. And you can see that in the league. You can see it in the LABC league. You can see it in the Drew league. Yeah. It's always that 1% of people that really stand beyond everyone else. And everybody else, to me, is just like role players. Right. They're just out there to just do whatever. But there's guys like you that really make it all happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming to see you now. I'm not coming to see your team. Yeah. I'm not coming to see who's...
Oh, yeah, I ain't got a choice. I don't have a choice, man, because my back is against the wall. So, come on out. You only giving me... You doing me justice.
You do down for the Drew League? I know they got a Drew League, and they create another G League.
Actually, T. Marsh is back.
G League is NBA minor league.
Yeah.
But NBA minor league.
So would that be suffice for you, or you want to travel out of country?
I mean... Just the competition period. I'm like, I'm just pretty much trying to see, not just where I'm at, but just what's going on inside. Is my fire still burning?
Cool.
Is my desire still like that? Because I know I can feel it's there, but I just want to. It's like but you want to. Like, you wouldn't know unless you stepped there. So it's like that.
Cool deal.
Let everybody know where we can find you on social media, man. We appreciate you coming through.
Before you do that, talk about the organization that's helping kids.
Okay, well, the Hoop It Up Foundation.
Well, we got 30 seconds. We got to do that quick.
Okay, well, the Hoop It Up Foundation. One of my friends, Mr. Jones, he's actually been running this foundation for a minute now, a couple of years now. But I actually came on board probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So pretty much we've been doing that. A lot of events at Venice Beach.
Dope.
Meta World Peace he's actually involved with some of the things that we've been doing. We had Samaki Walker get involved with some of the kids. A friend that I met through some of the toy drives that he's been coming to, Jamal Crawford. I've been actually trying to get my boy to come on down and pretty much just like put more confidence into the kids.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've been trying to get back to them. Because I was fortunate enough to meet, Kobe a couple of times. So so I want to be able to do that for them because I know what it done for me.
Cool deal.
So you can find me at on Facebook Facebook at brianfisher.com. You can find me on Instagram and
same handle.
B-Fishes in the ground.
You said B-Fishes in the ground.
B-Fishes in the ground.
Oh yeah, he Hollywood.
B-Fishes in the ground.
Cool deal. Again, this is Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator. I'm Farron, aka WDC. Again, thanks for tuning in so far. We're gonna take a quick break. We got In the Zone with Robert Lamar coming up next, and so we'll be right back. Sports Collective TV. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold, man.
I hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn, are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter had sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man.
There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.
All right. It's your boy Robert Lamar, and you're in the zone with Robert Lamar, man. Now, this is special for me because I'm from the east side of Pacoima, which y'all know, the most talented city that puts out athletes in all of California. We got Yanni.
Some of the people, but
we got. Wait a minute. Okay, let me go by the list since we're Yanni.
All right.
Paul George. Wait a minute.
He's coming to L.A.
Giancarlo Stanton, MVP.
Should have
wait a minute. Drew Holiday. I'm still going. Wait a minute. Brandon Browner, Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, two-time Super Bowl champion.
Keep it coming.
Should I keep it coming?
No, keep it coming.
Keep it coming. I can stickle. Garrett Anderson. Anaheim Angels.
Dodger as well.
Okay.
Dodger as well.
He won a title with the Angels, but he did play for the. But anywho, so let's not get it twisted. Pacoima is the most talented city in all of LA County. Anywho, I got my special guest here. I can't even tell y'all apart.
Which one's which?
Wait a minute. Who's fatter? Okay, that's Trent. Trent. Okay, cool. So that's Trent.
He's the chubbier one?
Yeah, he's the bigger one. I got. First and foremost, these dudes are 3-sport state qualifiers. 3 sports. Wow. That's insane. Football, City Player of the Year. All City. Track, state qualifier in track. Wrestling. State qualifiers in wrestling.
Wow.
Do you understand what we got going on here? We have some killers in the studio, everybody. Everybody, you two, let everybody know who we're speaking to right now.
Well, I'm Trevor Gill, and the City Player of the Year. I played on running back, and I also played on DB at San Fernando High School.
My name is Trenton Gill. I played linebacker at San Fernando. I got injured when I was a sophomore, so I changed my position to linebacker.
Now, this is the thing. First and foremost, I'm going to put your dad on blast.
Ooh,
First and foremost, your dad, I played against your dad.
What? Really?
He went to TAF. Now, this is what you guys don't know about his dad.
Wow.
4A city champion, starter. So that's big boy back in the day. We only had 2 divisions back in the day. There's like 5 now.
Wow.
The night that they won 4A, we won the lower division first. I watched him win his city title.
Wow.
So,
hey, Rob, how did that feel?
How did that feel?
Yeah, how did that feel? I'm pretty sure you want to know, right? How did he feel?
Oh, I went to a sorry school.
Okay. True. Come on.
I got bused to the suburbs.
Oh, man.
I went to Chatsworth. That's not in Pacoima.
True.
Simple as that.
True.
And to be honest with you, they didn't deserve us. But it just so happened there was enough of us real ones to actually get them to the Coliseum, to the L.A. Memorial Coliseum, where I scored a 75-yard touchdown run. If you really want to know how we feel, I did that.
Bush over here.
Yeah, but Reggie ain't got nothing on me.
Wow.
But any dang ways.
All right.
But just some history. These dudes were bred from a football background. But I would say that they're way better than their dad. Ooh. Just to go there, though.
Shots.
Just to go there. But one thing I would say about his dad, I got pictures from this guy. Your whole timeline. I got your baby pictures.
Aww.
I got your beginning wrestler pictures. It is so cute. No, I'm gonna post them on my Instagram.
Stay tuned for that.
But you guys have basically been playing sports since you guys can crawl. How was it like growing up in your guys' household? You guys have always been joined by the hip, so y'all never been by yourselves. How was it?
Well, growing up, we played sports because it was fun, and like our first sport was football. Like when we first started, we weren't really that good. We were I was a 4-down player. I played line, and I was like the smallest dude on the team. And then, but like 2 years later, I started playing running back. And I was pretty good at it. I like my first time playing running back. I think I had like 19 touchdowns.
Jeez!
Wow.
Where were you playing, Trent?
Well, when I first started, I was playing on the line also. 4-down player. Me and my brother were both smaller, way smaller than everybody because we're twins. And then when I started playing safety. I love the safety position because I can be everywhere on the field, on defense. And this past year, I just played linebacker because I just played whatever the coaches want me to play.
Yeah.
Helped us win a championship.
I mean, yeah, we'll touch on that championship later. And yeah, that championship is crazy. First and foremost, I'm disappointed that we didn't bring any rings in here.
No,
because
I'm looking at one right now.
Oh, wait a minute, is that? Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
Let me see that one more time. Wow. Wait, okay, that looks like the San Francisco Giants right there for a second. I was like, is that a Giant?
That's not San Francisco. That's San Fernando.
Okay, I was like, let's get him out of here now. I don't want no Giant fans in here.
But you guys, I mean, this wrestling thing is a big deal in our neighborhood. People don't get it. They think, because we come from like a football and basketball dominated city. Wrestling is almost just as big. There's how many city championships that has come out of that Boys and Girls Club alone? Like, how many city champions?
We have like 22 championships for city championships in San Fernando.
That's insane.
Wow.
That's insane. So, but you guys didn't start your high school careers at San Fernando.
No.
You guys went the private school route. Yeah, which is killing LA City section football, but it's okay though because
gotta do what you gotta do.
It is what it is. If I was in this generation, we all be private school.
True.
But what's really significant, I remember reading the newspaper when you guys decided to transfer to San Fernando, and there was a big deal talk about there's about to be some serious speed to San Fernando. I just need to ask this question: do you guys feel that you guys are responsible? Your coach, your teammates are watching. For San Fernando going over the top and becoming a city championship program.
Well, I say we're part of it for sure, but it's a team sport. Like we need our whole team to be able to win.
He that's just humble. That's what he does.
That's the right way to say.
What about you, Trent? Tell us how you really feel.
I believe me and my brother, we helped a lot. But we need everybody on the team to win the championship.
Yeah. Let's talk about your coach real quick, Beto. Good dude. He's at enemy territory. He's a Kennedy Cougar, but great story with him. He walked on to UCLA, started defensive tackle, and he came back, and he has put his whole life into that program. What is what type of impact has Coach Beto made on both of you guys?
Well, he's played a major impact because he said when he was in high school, people used to tell him that he was too small and he couldn't play in the next level. Like he tells us all the time because not all of us are big, so he tells us a lot.
I played against him. He was not that big. I mean, he was a big dude. He was like a fat dude that played line, but you would never think that he would break the bench press record at UCLA. And the reason why I love your coach so much is because I have talked to your coach about you guys and your teammates at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out how we can get you guys recruited. That's why I know that he cares about you guys, and that's the reason why that title is a big deal because that's a community title. Over here with Sports Collective Live, we are serious about making this a community-based show. And the reason why you guys are so important is not only are you guys standout athletes, but this is a showcase for the city. Okay. You guys are putting on for the city right now. Mm-hmm. How does it feel, face of the cities?
Face it.
Well, it feels good. Helping our community that we grow in. We grew in this community since we were small. Winning that championship for our school, it was crazy. I didn't think we could do that until this past year. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, how's recruitment going?
Well, there's some colleges interested in me. Like Oregon State said they're interested. They said they want me to work on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Some colleges they want me to play slot receiver. So I'm gonna play a little bit of slot, and there's still some colleges I'm gonna play running back. So I'm gonna play both this next season.
And, I mean, that's what track really helped, right? Because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, when was the last time a sprinter from San Fernando made state? I'm trying to. I mean, because you guys got a state title, and I mean, Kevin Williams won state. He won the whole thing in the 100. Your football stadium is named after him. Yeah. But outside of that, has it been since 81? Hey. I think it might be since 81 since San Fernando has had a state qualifier go to state.
Wow.
I believe I need to confirm that. Does anybody? Can I get sources?
28 years.
28 years. Wow. Jesus. You that guy, huh?
Yeah.
But the crazy part is, when I see your brother play, what really trips me out with your school is how big your coach makes you guys play. Mm-hmm. I watch you sack your quarterback. I watch you lay a couple hit sticks. I mean, when I look at you guys, I'm like, man, come on. You guys look like some little pretty boy, little curly head, little twig head boys. You guys are vicious on that field, especially like you are as tough as a football player as it is. Pound for pound, you're arguably probably the toughest player on your team. And your brother is, what I was telling his dad, he's probably the most elusive runner that I've seen out of the 818 in a long time, since DJ Morgan, like, city-wise. I mean, but going into your senior year, what is the goal individually and team-wise for you guys going into your last hurrah?
Well, individually, I would like to get like 2,000 yards rushing. And
2,000 yards rushing.
And wow. At least I would like to get like.
You run a 3-back system. Dang. That's a lot of yards.
You're going to be making circles all over Pacoima.
You had 17?
Yeah.
But the crazy part is, I mean, how many games did you play after the third quarter? Like, how many 4 quarters did you set out last year?
Well, like most of our league, probably like 5 games.
5 games. So you pretty much left minimum of 50 yards each game because you didn't play the fourth quarter. That's insane. That's your 2,000. Yeah. So that means that you have to get your 200 yards before the first half is over. Simple as that. But but you guys have a talented backfield. You have Kyle Bryant, returning all-city running back, and then you have Nehemiah, right?
Yeah.
Is there any other running backs, or is it just you three again? Three-headed monsters.
It was us three, and then there's also a sophomore.
Jeez, you guys just keep loading. I mean, are you still playing safety this year?
Yeah, I'm going to play safety this year. Last year I played linebacker.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so what was your preparation with going into, kind of changing, your position? You're going to be a little bit further back. You ain't going to just be in attack mode like that.
Well, I'm going to play a position I know how to play. I've been playing it for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. Linebacker was a new position. I had to learn it.
Do you think that Beto is going to make you go back to linebacker?
No.
No? Okay. Just say, because, hey, he likes to put in what works. He's a smart coach. You're not going to lose a game for you guys playing against your strengths. That's what you're not going to do. Because, your offense is a little bit more wider than it looks. It's a little bit more wide open. It's just that you guys had a line that probably averaged about 270, 280. Of course you're going to run behind that thing. Yeah. That's just what it is. And going into next year, I believe you guys are going to be probably the second best team in the city. You guys got left off of state last year.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. The only way to go to state is to make that open game.
Yeah.
So obviously that's the focus.
Yeah, for sure.
But what is your individual goals for next year?
My individual,
not team. You're not home. Yeah.
My individual goals is, for me, I'm going to play safety. I want at least 10 interceptions, and I want at least 50 tackles from the safety position.
Jeez, that's a lot of interceptions.
You got to aim high.
People watch film these days, and if they see you catch all those interceptions, they're not going to throw your way. Yeah. Just saying. We can kind of have a little handshake bet that you're not getting 10 interceptions because of your film.
You never know.
Simple.
You never know.
These coaches make a lot of money to the point where they see that. Hey, if he has 10 interceptions, then that means there need to be 10 coaches that need to be fired.
Hey, well, it might happen. It might happen.
Just saying.
More unemployed coaches. You never know.
But this is what I do, Fredo. Like when I go to the games, I got game footage of these guys making various plays. I mean, it's a pleasure for me to cover these kids because for me, it's not just about, highlighting them, but it is the platform. And this is kind of like, I had him on here because the very first time I did a show was with him. And we've been kind of quietly building this platform for about 4 years?
4 years strong. Since like 2015 or so.
4 years.
Yeah.
So what you got, Fredo?
Well, man, I got a lot, but I just want to ask some questions, man. You guys, seriously, which was the UCLA one that told me on the side here? I want to know.
Looks like him.
Okay, all right, there it is. UCLA. Is that one of the schools that you kind of want to aim for? Is there a school that you specifically want to aim for?
Well, it's been my favorite college since I was literally I went to one of the games before. I watched the UCLA game.
Did you do the 8 clap?
Oh yeah, we did that a lot.
There it is.
Don't ever admit doing the 8 clap. The 8 clap is the most terrible thing ever.
Robert.
Wait, but you do the 8 clap, don't you?
No, I'm not going to do anything right now.
Okay, yeah, just checking.
I'm just going to ask questions. Okay, that's it. But I still love UCLA.
No, that'd be a perfect school for him. With that coach, Chip Kelly, be able to utilize his skill set.
Some crazy stuff. I mean, UCLA is going to be football program, even though it's not as great as USC.
They're coming.
Has been. They're coming. And USC's just getting in more trouble. I mean, I don't know. Just saying out there, USC. Sorry.
I don't know. You see the recruits that USC brought in.
I see, but you
don't
see some other stuff behind the scenes.
Well, that's why Pete Carroll isn't there. Well, we're not going to go there, though.
Let's not go there. But is it a goal for you to stay at home, or do you want to explore somewhere else?
Well, I would like to get in the Pac-12, anywhere in the Pac-12.
Anywhere in the Pac-12. But you said Oregon State was reaching out to you, right?
Yeah.
Any other schools reaching out to you?
West Point, they said they would like me.
Do not go there. Block their number.
Block it.
Block it. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Go ahead.
There it is.
Well, they like me in wrestling and track.
All right. Which one do you prefer?
Football's my favorite sport.
Football. All right.
But that's $1 million question. When you guys get into college, is it just football, or are we doing wrestling, doing track? What's going on? You got decisions to make.
Well, in college, I like to do football and track in college.
Okay, so you done with wrestling?
Well, we went on a visit to Fresno State, and we talked to one of the football players, and he said he did wrestling, but he said it was pretty hard to cut weight for college, and
that's what's
play
brutal
football at the same time.
Because what were you guys walking around at, weight wise?
165.
So pretty much at your college, you got to cut down another 10?
Yeah. At the school, they said they would like me to cut a lot of weight, but
20.
Yeah, 20.
Oh, that's brutal.
But
no, thank you.
But I didn't cut no weight because I wanted to keep weight for football.
What about yourself? What's your goal? What school do you plan on going to? What are you looking for?
I would love to go to USC, but any school that gives me an opportunity, that would be great.
And do you want to be on the same team with your brother? Is that something you guys are planning on doing? Trying to play on for the same team?
That would be great. Yeah, I mean that's one of the goals.
But is that something you want, or is it just?
He just said that would be great.
Well, I mean, he said it would be great, but it's not. Yeah, you want it. You never. I mean,
I'm just messing with you, Fredo.
God damn it! Cut. Just saying. But I mean, that's amazing. I mean, if you guys get to play on the same team, and you never know where it seems like when you have family members playing together, it creates a better bond for you guys, and to never know what you guys could do.
Yeah. And another thing is team GPA. But what is the requirement for your team GPA? It's a little bit higher than the regular 2.0. What is the required GPA for your team?
To be honest, I don't know.
They're smart.
It's 3. I mean, I believe it's 2.5, but I believe your team averages 3.2. Mm-hmm. So that means that you play on a smart team.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we won the GPA challenge for the Rams, LA Rams.
And you got to meet who?
We got to meet
Eric Dickerson.
Wow.
Eric Dickerson.
Have you ever seen him run?
Yeah, I seen
some
highlights.
Highlights here.
That dude ran upright and used to separate with his glasses. That dude was cold. But, that was really cool when I saw that because, we come from a tough city. You guys live in a nice part. We not gonna go there though. But you guys live in a nice part. But it's a tough school. Like San Fernando, traditionally, if everybody went to the school they're supposed to go to, which is San Fernando, you win a city title every year. Yeah. That's how much talent is in that Pacoima area, and it doesn't have the best of reputations. But when you have a football team, that has to be a full-time student and have to dedicate to come to the weight room at 6 o'clock in the morning, because y'all at school at 6 lifting, practice, and have to do that full-time, and you guys still average over a 3.0 GPA, that's one of the best untold stories in our city. That makes me proud, being from my hood, that this is like the future that gets to represent us moving forward. So I think we're about to wrap this up. Where can we find you guys on social media?
You can find me at Trenton.Gill on Instagram and Trenton.Gill also on Twitter.
So Trevor Gill 22 on Instagram and Twitter.
Let me see that ring one more time.
Wow. Look at that.
Jeez, man. I mean, it would have been nice. I mean, I thought that I was going to get a ring, but, I'm going to have to talk to Beto about that, though. But, I was around for you guys' experience. Did you guys give me credit for letting the city know that San Fernando was way better than you guys thought they were? Who started that campaign? Just checking. All right.
Let's get the man a ring. What's the ring size?
Hey.
What's the ring size?
9.5.
9.5. You got that.
It used to be 10, but I stopped eating all my sweets.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
There you go.
I got to stop mine.
All right. Well, hey, what's next?
Well, we got the rundown, and I'm finally...
You got the rundown?
I'm finally going to give you the truth. I've been holding it down for an hour already. Over an hour.
If you guys want to call in, hit us up at 323-293-3375. We're about to come back with the rundown.
Bam.
Many families are impacted by sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait because they are just not aware of the impact of the disease that affects people of color and diverse backgrounds. Join us, be in service with others as we raise awareness on how to identify issues and resources for direct treatment for sickle cell trait. Join us as we support and empower families and individuals with education and information addressing these issues related to sickle cell disorder. Come out and get educated. Visit us online and learn more, wdconsct.org. Sponsorship opportunities are available.
Are you having sickle sex?
Sickle sex?
Yeah, sickle sex. You won't know unless you've been tested.
Really? You can really get sickle cell from having sex?
No, but your baby can. If you carry the sickle cell trait, you could possibly have a baby with the sickle cell disease. Find out more today and get tested. This message brought to you by SCD Soldier Network.
Giving up. Chapter 1. Winners never quit.
You ain't seen him?
Welcome back to Sports Collective TV.
Hey, people, we're back. We're back. Here, welcome back to Sports Collective TV, man. Here on the rundown. And there's a lot of stuff going back here. You guys cannot see what's actually behind the cameras, but there is some stuff going on.
We've got a lot of people in the studio today.
Yes,
shout out.
To all the dweebs. to everybody. But hey, we got a lot to talk about, all right? Let's cool down here, because it's time to get serious and put the truth on the table.
It's about to get heated.
Okay, it's about to get heated. I don't have my seatbelt on, but
you got your helmet on.
You got your booster seat on, though.
Yeah, I got my booster seat on, man. Shit. Okay. Man. Okay, so first off, let's not forget what happened in the previous series last Monday night with the Houston Rockets and James Harden. I don't want to let that get away, because James Harden was awful. He does not deserve the MVP of the league. Ooh. Bottom line.
I agree.
Let his whole team down. First of all, even though Chris Paul was not there, he could have done something about it, really stepped up, did not. I even dropped the headset.
He's emotional.
I'm hot.
Preach, baby.
Look, check this out. The Houston Rockets, first of all, had no chance at all from the very beginning.
Hold on.
They had a chance.
Cali sportsman.
You got it.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
But I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
We've seen this in Harden before, so that's no secret.
Till that day, everybody, I'm calling out everybody. Everyone's saying James Harden is our MVP of the league.
Oh no! Tell that to the MVP voters.
Yeah, to the MVP voters, all the reporters out there, people that get a chance to vote out there.
Right.
Oh, the quote unquote reporters.
It's hype. It's called entertainment hype.
Yes.
We all know the NBA is a business. You got to have upcoming players that can.
Can I address this point just briefly?
Address it.
Just briefly.
Give me some.
Now, if you are about 3 for 15 at the 3-point line as a coach, hold on, it's itching.
Well, it's not forgetting.
Doesn't that make you kind of think that maybe you should tell your players that you shouldn't be just throwing up 3-pointers and that you need to run the set offense?
And maybe if you got 7 players, but one goes down, maybe get some more players into the mix. You know, if you're going a 7-game series and those legs do get tired at some point.
So is that a Harden problem or is that a Money Mike D'Antoni problem?
That could.
The worst Lakers coach of all time.
It can, but
when you take 2,700 dribbles, dragging everybody around the court, step back in 7 times like you're doing the wobble, and then miss the shot. Come on, man, that shit is garbage.
This lands on James Harden.
That's garbage.
It's not.
It ain't like a Steph Curry step back.
Well, Steph Curry makes those step backs.
That's a whole different step back.
It is.
At least he makes them. And he struggled in that series, Steph. But it was also a little bit of him getting healthy as well. But end of the day, I'll put that on Harden, and I also put it on the guy who's supposed to be running the dang show, and that's D'Antoni.
But also, we all know this. We got a basketball finest in the building, so we know one thing about basketball is scoring, right? Defense and scoring. First one to 100 win. I always tell y'all that, right?
True.
First one to 100 win. That's the most aggressive, most assertive, most conditioned team, right?
Law.
They don't have the buckets in their staff to get to 100.
Well, the problem is with the Rockets, their game is so based on shooting threes that when those threes don't drop, they kind of panic. They don't know what to do. There were so many. I was watching the game with Big O, that final Game 7 and Game 6, and there were multiple times where we think, take it to the rack. Get it easy to, get some points on the board.
What was that number
again?
27 was. I'm not sure if that was it. How do you keep shooting
threes?
But
if you're shooting like that,
it was awful. And yeah, it does land on D'Antoni. But at the end of the day,
it goes back to where we don't see traditional basketball. You don't have true centers anymore. You don't have a true 4. The 4 is playing center. The 3 is playing center. So we don't see the multitude. You see what does Golden State Warriors run? Motion. That's it. Everybody's moving without the ball, and then they catch you sleeping in the short corner. They catch you sleeping on the back door, and boom, we got a game.
Let me ask you a question, Cali Sportsman.
Or game over.
Who is the Golden State Warriors center? Exactly.
JaVale McGee, who started yesterday.
But he's proving my point. There really isn't no center.
JaVale McGee is a final starting center.
We ain't seeing Elijah Wan, and we ain't seeing
Ewing or Robinson.
We ain't
those days are over.
Those days are over. So, and it all stimulated. I'm going to give you a little game.
It started from the Warriors offense.
No, I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back.
Take us back, Cali.
I'm going to take you back. I got true basketball IQ in here, so I'm going to go with it like this.
Do it.
That trend started in college basketball. College basketball starts spreading the floor and starts bringing smaller players in and being able to give opportunity to the 3-point shot. That became, if you watch March Madness, and you'll see that the transition of the game changing, and then that transition of the game changes to the NBA because that's the transition. So what you see in the NBA now is what you've been seeing in March Madness in college basketball for the last 5 years, because there's no bigs. What if you look at the 4 corners of Utah, Nevada, California, and Arizona, all guard heavy.
Guard heavy.
You got to go back east somewhere to get big kids.
You got to go to Chicago.
So why do you think it took so long for teams in the NBA to adapt to that?
Because it became if you just look the scoring. You got to look at the scoring. The scoring in college basketball, it was no 70, 80 point games. It should be 42 to 58. That was maybe 60 points. Now you're looking at 100-point games because of the 3-point and because they spreading the floor. And ain't nobody playing man-to-man D no more. If they spread the floor, what they do? They dump into a zone. I was like, wow, how you jump in a zone when the floor is spread? You want to go man-to-man to create the turnover so you can put things back in transition. It's basketball one-on-one.
But who set the tone for that, though? Ogden from Ohio State. He dominated in college, and then he didn't have the needs to hold water in the NBA.
Greg Oden?
Who? Yeah, Greg Oden.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Oden.
Absolutely.
I mean, since him, when have we had a center, like a dominant center like him, drafted at like number 1? What, Cat?
Shout out to Trailblazers fans. First of all, you guys have had a rough history.
Seriously.
They didn't shout out to him for it. So anyway.
Yeah, for real.
Portland?
I mean, I go with my boy because he's from the point guard. He's from the town.
But Jay, go ahead, Rob.
No, but
finish that thought.
No, it's just one of those things where, I mean, there's multiple parts for that blame, in my opinion. But end of the day, come on now, get some balls. Don't be Tyronn Lue. Don't be every other coach that doesn't have control, like Billy Donovan can't tell Westbrook what to do. These coaches have 0 balls these days.
And that's why you look at the Toronto situation, son, looking at a coach who had the balls, who changed the organization around over 7 years. Most of these guys that's in the NBA that's coaching are managers. They're not coaching. No. They don't go and tell these guys. If you even look at the little halftime breaks where Steve Kerr is talking to the players, what is he telling them? He's always saying, well, when I played with Michael Jordan, this used to happen. He give them actual scenarios so that they can identify, because they was having a problem with KD. Yeah. KD was basically holding the ball and the shot clock was moving, and then you got to involve it, and that's what he's saying. Give me 2-3 passes. That's why it don't work for LeBron. LeBron can't bring the ball up. You know what I'm saying? Well, he needs to be on the second, third pass to the basket. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And in that way, if he miss, it gives him an opportunity to score. If not, then they backpedaling again. IQ? Okay, I just want to check.
No, and our previous guest, Elena, touched on that as well. She mentioned how players nowadays...
that lady that was here?
Yeah. That was here. Mentioned how big players nowadays, like a LeBron James, are taking control of the team, and it is starting to turn around to where instead of the teams taking advantage of the players are starting to take advantage of the team. So these coaches
we can even touch on what she said. I mean, that's trend setting, right? We talk about trend setting, right? Just the whole thing. I was in AAU basketball when LeBron was doing the cut and paste basketball. It changed the whole trend from AAU where kids was like, oh, I want to go play with this team because I want to play with this team and I want to win on this team. That's not basketball. Basketball is basically one thing. You develop and you build chemistry.
Yeah, he played for the Oakland Soldiers. He's from Ohio. How are you playing for the Oakland Soldiers?
That's what happened. See, that's what happened to that whole industry, and that's when it had the lockouts. When the NBA was locked out, all the NBA players was coming to the AAU ranks, building their teams and building this cut-and-paste basketball. And all of a sudden, we get an ESPN notification, oh, LeBron is going to build out this team, and he's been building out these teams. So I say, only team you can build out now is Golden State. You need to go play with Golden State. That's the only thing you can do.
Talking about Golden State, before we move on, I want to bring up another question to you guys to the table here, because I thought about it yesterday while I was watching an amazing game by Stephen Curry, breaking a record with 9 3-pointers in the NBA Finals history. I brought it up because 2 years ago, before LeBron won his first championship for Cleveland, the question was, is Stephen Curry the best player in the league, better than LeBron at the time? But then after LeBron beat them in Game 7 there, everybody was like, no, wait a second, LeBron's still better than Stephen Curry. But after yesterday, I was just wondering, I'm like, well, I think we got to open that book all over again. No. Is Stephen Curry
only way Stephen Curry is even in the conversation is because of Nash. If Nash never got that MVP, Stephen Curry not even supposed to be a conversation.
But it happened, though. It happened.
That is true.
It happened, though.
That took away from Kobe.
Yeah, it did. It took away from Kobe. You brought that up the other day about Steve Nash being the guy to do that. But Stephen Curry has arguably now, I think, has overpassed LeBron James as a better player. So now the question lands on who is the better player in KD and Stephen Curry. Because honestly, you look at it now, you have to pick three. You have to pick one player out of those three. I'm pretty sure LeBron James is going to be your third option. And if LeBron James is your first or second option over Curry or Durant, I feel sorry for you.
All right,
you feel sorry for me. Yes. So on that note, we're going to commercial.
Oh, we're going to commercial because I feel sorry for me. But hey, when we come back right now, we're going to go ahead and give you guys our top 5 and close out the end of the show for an amazing 90-minute episode we had here. We'll be back. Sports Collective TV.
I don't care if you feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for you.
I feel sorry.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold, man.
I hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn, are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait till I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man.
There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.
Welcome back to Sports Collective TV.
Yes, we are back, and we'll be touching on the top 5 for today. So I wanted to touch on some comments made by a ex-Man City player, Yaya Toure, who accused Pep Aguilera for being a racist towards colored players. And so he's actually coming out with an interview later on this week. But after reading a little bit on it, I think he's taking things too personal. You were touched on this on the last segment, how a lot of times coaches are just managing, and they're not actually coaching players. And so what I've read upon how Pep coaches is that he doesn't like what people would consider divas or big personality players.
Big
right?
egos.
Yeah, big egos, right.
Which you get a lot in soccer.
Right. And
I can relate to that.
Right, and so it's like we all know that for sure. There's no doubt.
Tune in to Sports Collective.
You only got 3 minutes. Keep it pushing.
Live on the deck.
But yes, so I wanted to touch on that. How do people feel about sometimes people being treated differently?
Now you said racism, and it's the difference between racism and prejudice.
Right.
So, what was the word actually? Racism.
Well, he actually called them a racist, saying that he feels that he mistreats African players different.
Because racism deals with a sense of financial power,
right?
Which is prejudice is really probably the better term.
Right. Or prejudice or discrimination. Yeah, exactly.
We sum it all up as racism, but a lot of it is not always racism.
I was just going off of his terms.
But then again, we our culture, we are sometimes cocky players.
Right.
So that doesn't, as the guys were saying earlier, it's a team sport.
Right.
So if soccer is a team effort, you can't be this kind of cocky attitude.
See, but their dad ain't going to let them eat the oatmeal in the morning, so they've got this humility about themselves. You can see that. That's something that they're trained. They come from a good household. So
you're saying his environment is taking...
environment does have a tendency to be that, because you come from a different environment, you're going to have a different ego scenario.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But soccer is kind of that sport where it is a team game, but you'll always have single players stand out because there's not many goals in a match. There's not that much highlights to go from. So if your striker scores like the winning goal or something, he is pretty much the face of what happened in that event. So that is kind of contradictional to the whole...
And there's also a lot of history here. Like, they used to play at Barcelona, and he left Barcelona to get away from him.
Pep Guardiola.
And then Pep went to Man City where he played, and now, so there was a history between them.
So they got problems already.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, looking into ex-players, they said that it's more about personality. It's not really about any culture. So I feel like that Yaya Toure is taking this too personal. And I feel like when you have a coach that's willing to talk to you directly and get in your face, and whether you're a big person or not, some people are going to take it the wrong way, but that's part of growing as an athlete, right? Playing within the system, What do you guys feel about?
I think it depends. I've been called arrogant in a whole lot of different things because of my attitude, and I'm not arrogant. However, again, if it's you're talking environment, or if there's a history of issues and stuff between them, to me that's what's following it.
Yeah,
because everything is not racist all the time.
I think the ego comes with sport. I mean, just like the young man from the LABC league, he plays with an ego because he has his passion.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like the Kobe Bryant. People didn't like him in the league, but they didn't really understand. The guy had a different level of passion, but it played out into ego and other different things you want to call the guy.
You were a coach. You were a coach, right? So how was your approach when it comes to like those kind of players?
Well, my coach it's really just about humility because it's like I always felt like I coach basketball. It's all about accountability. So you're going to get on the floor. I can't play. You can. Yeah. I'm going to just coach. So if I tell you what to do and you go out there and do something else, then accountability is really on you.
Right. Okay.
So you deal with the repercussions.
Yeah.
And Pep Guardiola is a very experienced coach, so I feel like he should know how to handle this situation. This is something a little bit uncommon to hear from.
No, I think it's just coming more from a personal angle because.
But I also believe that you're trying to build a window of opportunity for soccer on a bigger platform, and I think these type of stories builds those platforms, which gives us an opportunity here at Morris Media Studios. Google it, you know what I'm saying?
To talk about it. Yes,
exactly.
Exactly.
So we're good. All right, so we want to thank you for tuning to Sports Collective TV. As always, we'll be here Mondays at 5 o'clock. Check us out, social media, Google it, Sports Collective TV. And catch us live on Sports Collective Radio coming soon. Shout us out, what's the count?
Pimping ain't easy.
We're ready for football. Ryan jump shot, puts it in. Here he is looking at the Giants. The Giants win 12